You know, things aren't going well for Democrats when there's trouble in one of the bluest states, New York. A judge is expected to approve a redrawn New York congressional map tomorrow that could pit incumbent Democrats against each other all over the place, particularly in the New York City footprint. The new map is already creating some drama within the New York congressional delegation and potentially embroiling DCCC Chair Sean Patrick Maloney, the Democrat tasked with protecting the party's majority nationally. He's urging his colleague Mondaire Jones to run in a different district, leading Congressman Richie Torres to accuse Maloney of, quote, thinly veiled racism. A black man is ideologically ill-suited to represent a Westchester County district that he represents presently and won decisively in 2020. Outrageous. So joining me now for a deep dive into this mess is John Campbell. He's a New York State Capitol reporter for Gothamist and WNYC. So, John, this is what I want to understand. How likely is this map that a judge drew, basically after rejecting the constitutionality of the state pass map? How likely is this map going to be set in stone?
Well, I mean, judging by the congressional members' actions, it seems pretty likely that maybe not this exact map, but something very close to it. I mean, you saw a special master, quote unquote, by a judge-appointed expert, basically, by the name of Jonathan Service. On Monday, he put out his preliminary map. The court took public comment until yesterday, and now they have until Friday to finalize it. So that's really not a whole lot of time. They did get all sorts of public comment from Democrats, from Republicans, from citizens. But there's not really a lot of time to change it. And that's why when you saw Jonathan Service put out this map, you saw congressional members and candidates and any number of people just declaring very quickly which district they want to run in, even though, as you said, it's not final yet.
John, walk me through what is of the state legislature's map. What specifically, which part of the redraw did this judge feel violated the spirit of what reapportionment should look like?
So the judge that's overseeing the redrawing of the map here is a guy by the name of Patrick McAllister. He's an acting state Supreme Court judge in Steuben County Supreme Court's the lowest level state court in New York. He is a Republican. He ruled on two things. One, that the state legislature's maps that were drawn entirely by Democrats were illegally gerrymandered, unconstitutionally gerrymandered. He also ruled that they didn't follow the right process. New York had a new process in place for drawing congressional and state legislative lines this year. It was put into place for the first time this year, and it essentially delegated that to a commission that had an equal number of Democrats and Republicans. Well, that commission deadlocked. They couldn't come to an agreement. The Democrats wanted one thing, the Republicans wanted another. And they sent one set of maps, and they were supposed to send a second set of maps once the first set of maps was rejected. And they never did send another set of maps. So the Democratic legislature stepped in, drew the maps on their own, and Judge McAllister, as well as the mid-level appeals court and the state court of appeals, which is dominated by Democrats, they all ruled that was unconstitutional, didn't follow the process, on top of the maps being democratically gerrymandered. All
right. So, man, you did a terrific job laying that out, and I wanted it. You should do tutorials on this. How likely is this map a 2-year map only?
Well, I mean, it could even be a 1-year map, quite frankly. There's the possibility that you have the map in place this year. Then you have some sort of challenge on the Voting Rights Act. You've heard a lot from Congressman Hakeem Jeffries and members of the Black community who are very angry that this map cracks apart some Black neighborhoods in the city. Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn is the one that they've really, really highlighted. So there's a possibility that you could see a lawsuit after this map is finalized, that a federal lawsuit that challenges these state court drawn maps, and maybe you see those tossed out and you have special elections next year. So they're going through that with the state assembly now too, which those maps haven't been tossed, but that's a possibility, a real possibility.
Well, John, I sort of was wondering that. I know North Carolina and Texas have had to do new maps mid-decade. I have a feeling we could have that perhaps a couple of times in New York State. I guess it's good for the political consultants. Bad, perhaps, for constituents. John Campbell, terrific reporting. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me.